Hi, it's Dawn from Ninja Bunny Crochet. Today I have for us to do this shells and window stitch. I call it that because it looks like the shells are inside of little windows. I think this would make a really lovely blanket or a washcloth or a shawl or a wrap. I think you could even use it for a scarf. I think you can make a lot of different projects with this stitch. It's basically done with double crochets, single crochets, and these are actually back post double crochets. These are done from the wrong side of the work, and they show through on the front side of the work. So let's grab our hooks and grab our yarn, and let's start working the shells and window stitch. So before we jump into today's tutorial, I'm going to ask if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's that little icon right down in the corner with my face on it. And if you go ahead and hit the notification bell, you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. If you like content like this, go ahead and hit that like button, that thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like my videos, and it helps me out a lot. So for today's tutorial, the shells and windows stitch, I'm going to be using my Clover Amour hook in a 5.5mm size and some worsted weight yarn. This is some Red Heart Super Saver. I'm going to be using white, and I'll be using this light yellow as well. So I'm going to start with the white. The shells and windows stitch is a multiple of 6 plus 3. And what that means is that you keep chaining in sets of 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then you're going to go ahead and repeat that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you keep repeating multiples, sets of 6 until you get your project as long as you want it, and then you're going to add 3 more chains onto your base chain. So for today's tutorial, I'm going to be working with a base chain of 27. That is a multiple of 6 plus 3. So once you have your chain of 27, come on back and we'll start the shells and windows stitch. Now that we have our chain of 27, we're going to start 4th chain from hook. The loop on our hook does not count as a stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're going to start with a double crochet, the chains that we skipped will count as a stitch. So we'll work 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way down the chain. Continue working 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way down the chain, and I will meet back up with you at the end of the chain. I'm at the end of row 1, and for this swatch we have 25 double crochets because our turning chain counts as a stitch. To start row 2, we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn the work. That very first stitch, we're going to put a single crochet, then chain 2, and we're going to skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next stitch, we're going to put a double crochet, chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then the next stitch, a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and in the next stitch we're going to put a double crochet. Chain 2, skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and we're going to go back to a single crochet. So we're going to alternate from single, double, single, double, single, with chain 2 spaces in between. So you're going to repeat that pattern to the end of the row, and in your very last stitch is going to be in the top of the turning chain, and that should be a single crochet. So please continue this to the end of the row, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. We're at the end of row 2. We're going to make our last single crochet into the end or the top of that turning chain. We're also going to be changing colors, so we're going to pull up, and we're not going to finish that stitch. We're going to go ahead and drop that white and grab our new color and complete that single crochet. Now what I like to do is go ahead and put a little knot in here. I know knots in crochet, but not a very tight knot, just a little knot just to hold those ends together so it doesn't unravel while we're working. Now to start row 3, we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3, and turn the work. In this very first stitch right here, we're going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. We're going to skip this chain 2 space, and in the top of the double crochet, I'm going to put a single crochet. Skip this chain space right here and go to the single crochet and put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more is 5. Should get it right in that space there. Skip the chain 2 space, go to the double crochet, and put a single crochet. And we're going to repeat that again. Skip the chain space, go to the double crochet, or single crochet, and put 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a single crochet in that next double crochet. So continue that to the end of the row, and in your very last stitch you're going to put 3 double crochets. I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 3. I'm about to put my last double crochet, that third double crochet in there, and we're going to change colors again. So I'm going to drop my yellow and I'm going to pick up my white to complete that double crochet. And again, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little bit of a knot in there, not a big knot, nothing to pucker the stitch, just to hold it together while I'm completing the row. And we're going to just let those tails hang. Now to start row 4, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and turn the work. Get those tails out of the way. In that very first stitch right there, we're going to put a single crochet and chain 2. Now this is where we're going to do a back post double crochet, but we're doing a back post double crochet 1 row down. So we're going to actually put our back post double crochet into this double crochet right here. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to go in from the back because we're going 1 row down, and we're going to come out the back, pull up a loop, and complete that double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2. And then this stitch right here is considered worked. So then we're going to skip the next 2, 1, 2, and we're going to put a single crochet in the top of that shell, right in the middle stitch of the shell. Chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do another back post double crochet in this next double crochet right here. So again, you're going to yarn over, you're going to come in from the back, come out to the back, pull up your loop, and complete your double crochet. Chain 2, 1, 2, and skip the next 2 stitches. Remember, this one is worked right here. This stitch is worked. 1, 2, and your single crochet is going to go right on the top of the shell. Chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do the back post double crochet in this post right here, yarn over, go through and through, pull up your loop, yarn over, and complete your double crochet. So continue this for the rest of the row, this pattern, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. I'm at the end of row 4, and my last single crochet was in the top of the turning chain, and you might think, well, that looks kind of funny, but that is exactly what it's supposed to look like. So to start row 3, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. That will count as our first double crochet, and when you turn your work, and there is your windows. So we're going to start this row, we're going to do 2 more double crochets into that chain space. So go 1 and 2. I'm going to do a double crochet into the next stitch, which would be the top of that back post double crochet, and 2 into the next chain space. So 1 and 2. And let me pull out some yarn because it's getting a little snug here, so my tension doesn't get too tight. And we're going to put a double crochet into the next single crochet, and 2 double crochets into the next chain space, and 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So this is what you're going to repeat all the way across the row, and I'll meet back up with you at the end of the row. So here we are at the end of row 5. Now in the end of this row you should have the same number of stitches that you started with. So I had 25 in the beginning, and I'll have 25 on this row. And each subsequent time you complete your repeat, you should have the same number of stitches in your solid double crochet row. So from here on out, what you're gonna do is you're gonna repeat rows 2 through 5. So you would start off your next row with row 2, and you would go 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, until you get your project as big as you would like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the larger example in here. Let's back the camera, whoops, wrong way, back the camera down a little bit so you can see. And you're just going to keep repeating 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you've liked this tutorial, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that bell so you won't miss any of my tutorials. Thanks for watching, and happy crocheting! Bye-bye!